Speaking of tendentious,
God damn.
this person can be perceived as that.
Yes.
Or is that to a lot of folks she come across. We're talking about Amanda Seales, who had one hell of a week, on Club Shay Shay. And it was a pretty interesting interview. I did watch all 3 hours and 10 minutes. Nick watched it too. And so what prompted me, well, first, let me go around the room. Because I know everybody didn't watch it, but did anybody see any of the clips that were circulating online? Anybody familiar with
I
the story of what happened?
I seen the clips and I made it halfway through the interview.
Okay. You seen any of the clips?
I have not watched the interview, and I only seen like a couple clips here and there. When was this?
It was this
A couple
week.
days ago.
Yeah.
3 days
This was not a
ago,
good week for
and
me to
it
be paying attention to what was happening, but I did see some things that I may be able to chime in on.
3 days ago, is it 2 million views?
Oh yeah. I
Another one.
I watched about an hour of it.
Okay.
Yeah, I turned it on yesterday, but I can't do 3 hours of a show with two people I don't really care that much about, to be honest. Nothing against Amanda Seales. I mean, I watched a full, long-ass interview with her and Immortal Technique, and it was fucking amazing. But her and Shannon Sharpe, nah, I'm straight.
She was interviewing Immortal Technique.
They're friends.
Really?
She's not a joke. I think she's really out here like doing the work.
She has a master's in.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, I don't really know all
Excellent
the
doctor.
other drama things with her because I don't keep up. But the stuff I do see, I'm like, oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, she's that. So what I learned from the interview is that she's really into hip hop, and she has a concentration, I think, in hip hop from Columbia. I know she has the master's in African American Studies. Because when she told Shannon, she was like, "Well, let me tell you off rip, I do the work. All right, I know this shit. So don't be sitting here trying to tell me about stuff because I'm educated. Blah 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 blah." So she tried to shut that down.
Why would he? Is that what he does?
No, he was.
That's what she does.
He was cooning.
Oh,
I think. I know Spike probably disagrees, but yeah, I think he was tap dancing
Why
like a
you think
motherfucker.
I disagree?
Because you made a face.
I have said that about him in the past on shows. I don't know if you.
I remember with
I've
the cigar
definitely-
and the cognac, and I remember we talked about that.
I've definitely called out Shannon
Soft
for
shoeing.
aspects of that. Early on, it's funny because I found the earlier parts a little bit more interesting
than the
latter part because I don't think she said anything really that bad about Issa Rae.
Nah, the Issa Rae stuff didn't sound like it was that big of a deal.
Yeah, it wasn't. So what are you protecting Issa Rae from? You had an issue with Vanessa Anderson, her PR publicist, something like that, and they wouldn't let you in the party. That
you still talking about this?
She brought it up. Shannon asked about it. She brought it up, and she was explaining her side of the story. It doesn't sound like she was invited. It sounded like Jesse Williams, from what I heard, invited her, and she went with his invitation. Somebody else there knew her and brought her in, and then Vanessa Anderson kicked her out. Issa Rae, was like, "That ain't my business. I'm staying out of it. That's between y'all." And she was like, "You're my boss. Like, can you step in and help manage the situation?" And it sounded like Issa Rae never really did, from what I've heard.
That's
so
super old. What was the basis of
She
this?
did say before. I'm sorry.
No, I was just asking what was the basis of this conversation, or just random?
It was random.
Yeah,
Random
it's
stuff.
just-
It was all over the
I
place.
think she was just getting it out there, Cat Williams style.
And then another house thing. What was the cooning part?
Well, the cooning part was when they were talking about race. Were you done with the Issa Rae part?
I just wanted to add to the Issa Rae part.
We'll get to the cooning definitely.
we'll get to
Their last interaction on set, though, she said she walked off. Like she stormed off when
Who
Issa
walked
Rae-
off?
Amanda Seales.
Yeah, that's
like,
what I heard.
The last interaction on set wasn't a positive one, so why would she think that Issa Rae would come save her at a later date? That's what I didn't understand.
yeah, I don't know, but if we can, I do got a clip from it we can actually play, so you can at least hear some of it. If we can cue that up, I don't have the remote or anything. But Yeah, I didn't think.
Do you need something?
Oh, here we go. I was trying to fill space. That's all.
So I've never talked about this publicly.
Remote.
Because it has always been incredibly important to me to protect Issa.
So
Because I know that Issa is doing something within this business that so few people get to do. And it's not something I desire to do. Like I'm not interested in getting $100 million production deal. Like that's not a life that I want for myself. But I know that her role is very important. And so I've always protected Issa. However, there's just been enough instances at this point where I should have been protected by Issa and I wasn't. And one of my biggest problems that we have discussed several times in this interview is that I think people are going to show up for me the way I show up for them. And now it's at a point where my protecting of Issa has become turned on to me and something that people are using against me. There's a whole narrative that is completely false that people keep spinning. They keep saying, that I'm this mean girl on this set, that I harmed these people on this set. I just want to point out something very basic. How can I be a mean girl on a set that ain't my set?
You can.
You can.
How?
Easily.
It's your show. You are my boss. I don't even have the capacity to be the mean girl here.
Right.
Because you can fire me.
Right.
So
That's
there's
what I
no
was
way
waiting
for
on.
me to be a mean girl in this situation. And I know some people that may buck up against like the confirmation bias that they've created, but it simply is the truth. At the end of season 1, I pulled Issa aside after this. I said, can we go to dinner? I want to take you to dinner. I took her to dinner. I said, I feel like you think I have something against you. And I don't know why you feel that way. Cause we had been cool from even before this.
Right.
No, I said, I feel like you have something against me. And she said, well, I feel like you have something against me. And I was like, based on what? She said, well, I guess I was looking at you like your character. Am I that good of an actress? She wrote the character, bro. What?
That's a fair point. That's kind of.
And so I said, you know what? So let's clean the slate because that's just not. I have nothing against you. I really don't. And if that came off, that was not my intention. But by the end of the show, there were just certain scenarios where I had to really always be the bigger person and be the balm to the situation. And then in season 5, she just came out her face at me one time too many. And I just chose to stop being the bomb because the show was wrapping. It was the end of the season. It was the end of the series. And I'm just not going to keep doing this.
So what did you do?
Nothing. I just stopped communicating.
Oh. I mean, I had a little real, and he says like Issa is like most of her set is with women, camera people, et cetera, and that she's very empowering to women.
Oh, I disagree. She wasn't empowering to me. She didn't feel like she didn't feel like I deserved to be protected. I'm only giving I'm only giving a portion of the
Your point of view,
situation.
yeah.
So, but that was my experience.
Okay.
And nonetheless, I have still always protected her because I felt like it was my responsibility to do so, but it is not.
All right.
So she has a way
Thoughts?
of, for me, the thoughts are like she'll kind of go off the rails, but find a way to try to bring it back, but then fall off again. It's really weird. It's really weird.
She can clean up real well.
She could clean up.
Yeah.
That's the thing. She could clean it up.
She definitely has main character syndrome to me. Like makes it more about her than I think it actually is.
Yeah, see, y'all being Shannon Sharpe right now, because how do y'all know that she's not telling the truth?
Well,
Because Issa Rae comes off as so sweet and all that.
We
but
don't.
That's what I'm
We
saying.
don't.
So why is it like, oh, she has...
but why is it matter of fact just because she's saying it?
I'm saying like if she was there,
Yeah.
why are we automatically being like, well, I don't think that's what happened?
I think it's the words that she's choosing, like for instance, protection. Like what are you protecting Issa Rae from? I'm sure Issa Rae would take offense to that.
No, I think her status. Well, she said it like her status in the space
Right.
of what she's able to do to empower and help Black people, and she wanted to keep that.
And if I'm Issa
Installed.
Rae, I'm looking at it like, well, I don't need you to protect me because I have that status. I worked for that. I don't need you to protect me. Who is Amanda Seales to protect me?
Yeah, but there hasn't been a lot of negative publicity about Issa out there. So then if that starts, it can start a chain.
But I think,
And maybe there has, and Amanda Seales stepped up and was like, no, that's not true. We don't know.
The protection
That's
is
what I'm saying.
is an interesting word.
that's what I'm
choice.
saying. That the word choice is crazy.
But
to me.
I can say that even as many arguments as me and FIFO have gotten, I protected him. Because when people say foul shit on him about him on Twitter, I'm like, y'all need to chill out. As many arguments as me and Rod have gotten in, I can say I protected him. It doesn't have to be like a super literal thing. She could just be saying like, look, I've stepped up for her, but she hasn't done that for me. I don't know any of this to be fact. Only thing I'm saying is I don't think it's necessarily fair for us to automatically like think she's lying.
I don't think that.
I don't think she's lying. I just think that the narrative, I mean, the way that she's framing it just doesn't seem right. I'm not necessarily saying that she didn't experience that. I'm not taking anything against what she went through on the set or even any other things she talked about. But the way that she frames it always seems as if it's impossible for her to be wrong in the situation.
Well, and that's why I think it was, the cleanup part. Like that's why she was like, from my perspective.
From my perspective. And then she also said, she said, because she initially said, well, I don't believe that. Well, not for me.
Yeah.
She's like, she could be doing it for other people, but I
didn't experience that.
I didn't experience that.
I feel like you only have to say that to intellectually disingenuous people.
Huh? Say that one more
Because
time.
I feel like you only need to say statements like that to people that you're talking to that are being intellectually disingenuous. Like if I'm talking to you and I say, yeah, this happened and I felt this way and da-da-da-da-da, and the person you're talking to responds back with, well, how do you know if that wasn't, something else? It's like, well, you're stupid. Because I'm clearly saying from my perspective, I shouldn't have to tell you, hey, man, in my perspective every single time.
No, that's
Well, I think she was doing that for other people. Because I do it. I do that a lot.
What do you mean for other people?
I think she has to say, well, this is what I mean, because I understand how this may be misconstrued.
Yes,
right?
from dumb people. Yes, that's what she's doing. She knows that anybody that has half a fucking brain would interpret this as this is how you personally felt,
Right.
not a fact. There's no emotional fact here.
Yeah.
So she's doing that because she can see dumb people being like, whoa, shit. I just realized I said all this. I wasn't trying to call you dumb. I wasn't. I promise on my life. I promise on my life, Mike. I was not trying to call you dumb. I swear to God.
When you were saying it, I was like,
damn. No, I feel kind of bad. I really wasn't.
No. I wasn't saying it that way.
I was really talking about Shannon Sharpe. I wasn't talking about you.
No, because I watched probably the same amount of the video that you did. And in the beginning, I feel the same way that you do. Like, as she was explaining the situation with the teacher or the situation on the set, and he was going to those questions, I'm like, well, why?
She always has to say that.
Why would he ask her that?
That's the part that I was thinking of. Not necessarily.
Because I watched it. I know what you mean.
Y'all foul, bro.
No, I do agree with you on that because it is a fairly common thing that people say now to protect themselves from attacks.
Right.
So I do agree with you on her saying that it is a way for her to shield herself from anybody coming at her about her experience. But I'm with you 100%. Like, we all know you're telling your perspective of it. Like, you don't need to add that. But, for the world, she probably felt like she has.
Yeah, I'm with Ross. She does because she knows people are going to misinterpret everything she says.
Yeah.
Including the person she's fucking talking to throughout this interview.
Does it sound like he was loading up?
He was.
He was loading up.
because he was just like, so what you,
You could tell he's not experienced enough to be interviewing her.
I saw that floating around.
We'll get to the reason why.
I don't think
Okay,
that
I saw
he
that
had-
floating around.
Yeah, I don't think that he had enough. It was almost like someone coached him incorrectly on how to conduct this interview with her, and she immediately sniffed it out like, "Nah, we're not doing
I don't even
that."
think he got coached. I think
Really?
this is
You
just
think
how
it's just him?
Yeah, this is just him and how he talks to people.
I disagree.
With
I
what?
disagree. He didn't do none of that shit to fucking Cat Williams. So why is he doing it? So why is he?
Cat Williams has
Cat
a
Williams
very
was no, he
strong-
didn't.
Well,
Cat Williams was saying some wild, dumb shit.
Cat had to check him a couple times too, though.
That's fine. He had to check him, but when did he tell him? You ain't read no. You didn't read all
He
the
did
damn
not.
books.
He did not. He did not.
Did he check him on any of those wild things? When I watched,
He asked him. He did double down. He's like, "You read such and such books?"
but he kind of said it as like a joke.
Yeah.
He didn't come at him the way he came at her.
you know why? And this is I think,
Because Cat Williams is a man. That's why.
in tone.
Oh, you think he was afraid of Cat Williams' tone?
No, Cat Williams is kind of there. He's joking. He's clowning. The energy is kind of, less aggressive, which, yeah.
What?
I think Cat Williams is a lot better at absorbing those things.
He said that.
I know how that sounded. I knew how it was going to sound.
I think Cat Williams is a lot better at absorbing those things and making you sound dumb because he did like Joe Rogan did do that to Cat Williams, or tried to, and Cat Williams like, oh, I'm finna make you feel dumb. Like I'm not even gonna approach what you said, but I'm gonna make you understand how dumb that it looks that you asked me this.
It's pretty easy to make Joe Rogan look dumb.
Okay.
I mean,
But
I don't
he
know much about Shannon
But he did
Sharpe.
the same thing to Shannon Sharpe too, though. Like in some instances in that Cat Williams video, he was like he'll give him a slight smile, and I can't believe you asked me that type
come on,
look.
Shannon.
Yeah, like come on, and then proceed to showing you why you are dumb for asking me this versus I'm taking offense to it like I feel like Amanda Seales did. I don't think that was a man-woman thing. I just that's a difference in approach. And I think that's why a lot of people perceive Amanda Seales the way that they do.
And I'm not giving her the angry black woman when I say the tone thing. I wanted to let me clear that up.
You gotta clear that
but
You saw a little J. Cole versus No Name.
No.
You did.
They got into they had tension in the beginning.
Yes.
And I think that tension lingered throughout the interview up until the point where she asked for a hug. So, and I think because of that, Shannon at that point was like, you know what? I need to edit myself and conduct this interview in a different way.
Yeah, they had to do a reset. Like,
But we're talking about from the beginning. Because I only watched the first hour. And I was like, I can't deal with this anymore. This guy sounds like a fucking dumbass. But there was tension because of what Shannon Sharpe was doing, not because of her. And I think Cat Williams was just as aggressive, if not more aggressive, than Angela Seales. Cat Williams was what did I say?
Angela.
Thank you.
Shannon though?
Yes. Cat Williams came off like anything I say, if you attempt to say a fucking word, I'm going to eat your ass up.
He was aggressive. He was, because he said you let them come up here and lie. That was how he started. He like, you let these people come up here and lie on me.
So I don't remember
gave him a
seeing,
platform.
at least in the first hour and some change I watched, I did not see any moment where she was aggressive. Not a single time. When he came at her, I think this is the way y'all view men and the way y'all view women. I think it's different.
Really?
When I watched this, she was letting him get his shit off. And then at one point she just stopped and was like, okay,
Yeah.
that's aggressive to y'all.
No.
When did she raise her voice? When did she attack? When did she yell? When did she do any of that?
You don't have to do that to have a tone.
But no, y'all said aggressive. Y'all said aggressive.
You can be aggressive without yelling,
Nah,
can't
she
you?
wasn't aggressive, y'all.
I know my mom has been aggressive
I feel
without
that. I do feel she aggressive with a look.
I will say this.
Wait a minute.
I think that Shannon was as well, though.
He was.
I think that he was as well.
He was combative.
I think she met his aggression. I'm not saying that she came in aggressive like you said, because even in the beginning, she was talking about how she was received there, like by his staff and stuff, and she kind of made a comment on that. And then
I didn't get that. What was that about?
I don't know what happened there either. But he did respond like kind of offended, like, oh, I'm not providing a safe space. And she was like, let's move on. Let's get to what we're here for. But I do think that she felt like he was coming at her. So I'm going to meet you where you are.
I never got her meeting him.
Really?
Nah, because when I watched it, I was seriously like, and maybe that's because I'm kind of aggressive and loud and obnoxious more than her, I think. If I was telling a story about a situation where I experienced racism and he was saying that shit to me, I'd have lost my fucking mind. How fucking dare you?
Yeah, that was
your wide nose. Your nose is too wide to be a coon, bro. Way too wide. How fucking dare you try to tell me, oh, well,
that's just kids.
I don't know where you grew up, but when I grew up, you weren't supposed to talk back to teachers. That has nothing to do with the fuck I said.
You know.
So
yeah.
I don't really see I didn't watch the whole thing. Maybe she got aggressive. I didn't see the aggression.
It's really smooth out, and it kind of got to a place where things were okay, because she was like, okay, now you see me, or now you hear me, or now we're there.
And she asked for a hug. I saw at the very end.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. But no, I'm more with Amanda Seales in the beginning, because I thought Shannon really wasn't listening and really was not understanding what she was saying and processing what she was saying. And I think because she wasn't feel like she was being listened to, she responded accordingly. She was like, and it felt very much like, wait, how you gonna tell me
that I experienced?
What? Yeah, exactly. So, and the thing about Shannon, because, but as the interview was playing, I was like, people are not going to interpret or hear it the way that I am. They're only going to see the confirmation bias, the version of Amanda Seales that they have read about or known. They're going to hear the sharpness in her voice. And oh, damn.
Oh, you didn't realize that?
Nah. And then they're like, see, that's her right there. But I thought she did a really good job of like When she got to a point, she was like, "Oh, you're not gonna get it. You're not gonna understand." She was like, "Okay, I'm gonna just leave it alone and just move on." But here's the thing: because I was like, "Shannon, what are you doing?"
No, I wanna watch it.
He came into the interview operating off the perception of her, of what he'd heard.
You think so?
I absolutely think.
That's what it seemed like.
Yeah,
He
it does
1
seem
million
like
percent
that.
came into that interview thinking, oh, she's this type of girl.
The perception of her and what he's heard
What
about
he's heard
Issa.
people say about her, maybe someone's met her that he knows. He 100% came into that interview like, I already know
He's
who this
being
is.
indentious.
And yeah,
Tendentious.
and she had to.
But that's a good application.
And now that you say it, Mike, aggression is the wrong word. She had to check him. She had to check him on, this isn't what you thought it was. She had to like let him know and actually walk him down that line of, this is who I am.
Yeah, my point is, I don't think he had the same energy for Kat. That's all I'm saying. Like he tried to absolutely break down why what she experienced was not racism in 2 separate occasions within the first hour of the interview. I don't remember, and again, I could have missed it, but I don't know that I did. I don't remember him breaking down why there's no fucking way Cat Williams read all them goddamn books. I don't remember him trying to check him on the dress shit. I don't remember that happening.
He questioned the book.
He
stuff.
probably questioned it
He didn't
to
check
get
it.
more content out of it. He wasn't like, well, look, hold on, Cat. Let me tell you something, Cat. He
did.
Can't nobody. No, he didn't. No, he didn't.
Not about
He wasn't
that.
like, well,
not about
why
the
you say
books.
yeah, he did?
Not about the books, but he did it. He did. If
Why
we're
you
talking
say yeah, he
specifically the
did?
books,
I
no.
was trying to.
No, not specifically the books, but he
See,
did
you
it on
being
other stuff.
tendentious. See?
You said 2 things though. You said books and dress.
dress.
Yeah, I was talking about the book. Okay, you're right. You're
does
right. I'm not
push
gonna be
back.
tendentious. I'm gonna be the opposite.
Broadening
You're right.
even beyond Cat and he does push back sometimes.
Sometimes.
I don't think it just has
did
to
he
be
push
women
back
either.
on some of the outlandish shit Cat Williams was saying? The way he
No.
did with Amanda Seales.
No.
Then why are we arguing about this?
I don't know enough
know,
about this interview. Just
I
want
know.
to make that very clear.
Yep.
But I do know about the Cat interview. And the Cat interview, it seemed like he pushed back on things he's heard from other comedians that he was trying to combat. And that seems like what he was trying to do here because he has a perception of Issa, right?
Yep.
No.
No?
That's what I'm
See,
trying.
that's the
I know
thing.
you haven't seen it. That's what I'm trying to get you to
Gotcha.
understand. So I'm with you on the
Okay.
other part about like you say this about other comedians. I'm pushing back on that because I've talked to them.
Yeah.
He doesn't know that teacher. He doesn't know any of those parents. He knows nothing of the situation. So why are you trying to tell her that what you experienced was probably not racism? Why are you doing that?
What's the situation with the teacher? Now we moved on to something else.
So,
What's the situation with the teacher?
The 2 situations of the racism were, one, she said when she was on the set at Nickelodeon or Disney, one of them, I can't remember where she worked.
Nickelodeon,
But kids were saying racist things to her.
Called her the N-word.
Called her the N-word.
Oh, shit.
And
Said
Shannon,
you're only here because you're black, not
you're
because
only
you
here
can
because
act
you're
and
black,
dance.
not because you can do this. And Shannon said, isn't that just kids being kids versus it being racist?
Yeah.
And then in school, she said that a teacher brought her to the office because she said that indigenous people or
The
some,
teacher was saying that indigenous people are a prehistoric people.
and she
And
corrected
she
her.
corrected her and said, no, there are indigenous people. I'm sorry, not indigenous, Aboriginal.
Aboriginal
people.
I couldn't think of the name.
They still exist and they're still people. They're
Yes.
not a prehistoric people.
Right.
The teacher got upset, took her to the office, had the
Had
parents
her mom come. Yeah.
and said, I'm not mad because of bad grades, because you're talking
doesn't
to other
disrupt
kids.
class. Yeah.
I'm upset because she corrected me.
Or consistently corrects me.
Consistently corrects me.
Yeah.
And she said, well, but you know, it's Florida in the 80s. You know what that is. It's racism. I'm one of the only black kids in the class.
And she said the principal was black, her mom was black, she was black, but the teacher was white.
Right.
And everybody kind of like rolled their eyes when the teacher gave the reasoning to why this meeting is occurring.
And then what did Shannon say to that?
He said, well, couldn't that just be you're not supposed to talk back to adults
And correct teachers.
and correct teachers? He's like, well, I'm from like any teacher's going to take being corrected that way versus it being white versus black.
It was so bad, bro.
Yeah.
And the sad thing about it
But it was
is
like,
I
why-
see what he's saying. But the whole point is, do you really need to say that right now?
Right.
That's exactly
You know what I'm saying?
because it's
Like,
not a bad point. It's not a
it's not a
horrible
bad point. It's just a
but
bad
why?
point in that moment.
And that's, I think, how she was taking it. Like, this is an interview about me. Like, it's not about your thought processes or, you know, the questions that you have in a sense of questioning.
not
what
a
I do.
therapy session.
Yeah, it's not a therapy session, bro.
Well, and the thing about it is that Shannon's from Savannah, Georgia.
I don't mean shit.
Well, what I bring that up to say is like, bro, you should know and have
Right.
experienced racism.
Right.
To
You know what
understand
racism- you know what racism is, bro. Why
If
you
not
being
that,
right?
exactly that
Right.
exact story,
Yeah.
very, very similar stories.
Right.
But based on how he grew up, maybe he had to kind of,
And he's also a football player.
kind of fit in, so to speak.
That's kind of what I mean too, is I think that he has money, he has access. This is one of those things where you get financially removed from black people problems. We've seen it with a billion celebrities.
Either that, and also, like I said, what about the football thing? Like just kind of turning an eye to certain racial stuff that you witnessed, and not even realizing that there's a lot of racial things happening in this industry that I've just kind of made myself numb to.
I think he's too old for that.
You think so?
I think he's too old to actually think that these racist things aren't happening. I think that he's probably gotten to a financial status to where he doesn't want to upset massa.
So you think it's that?
Yes.
I think it's before that. I think it's even before he was rich. Like he growing up where he grew up, he had to be a lot more dismissive of racism. It's probably a lot of shit that he let slide as to where I feel like Amanda Seales is a lot more intelligent than he is. So she's a lot more keen to these things happening, even at a young age. I think he looks at it and this is just the way things is. And I think she looks at it like, no, this isn't right.
I get you.
White folks, they're going white.
The white folks just gonna do that.
If he had said that, I'd be like, okay, I get you. But he didn't say that.
No, you're right.
And
He didn't
I
say
feel
that.
like he's too old to really be at this point acting like that racist shit didn't happen.
Yeah.
And the status that he's in, I just don't believe it. I think that he was up there fucking tap dancing because what she said wasn't crazy.
No.
It didn't even sound like no Jussie Smollett story.
No.
When Jussie Smollett shit came out, I believed it, even though it sounded nuts.
You didn't believe that.
You know,
You didn't believe it?
No.
You never believed it.
never.
Mike don't like Mobb Deep. You can't listen to him.
So you and
If
I
I
on
gotta
the
say
same
this,
page.
nigga,
He was on the same page.
I didn't know that.
You never
He thinks OJ didn't do it. Why are you surprised by these motherfuckers?
Wait, y'all thought y'all
You
never
were on the show and I questioned
I don't
it.
remember. It's just been so long,
Yeah.
but I don't remember that you didn't never believe it.
Yeah, I was like,
No, it
something
was-
don't sound right about
from the
this
very
story.
beginning.
And y'all, because I remember
they
y'all
found-
was
when he
kinda
walked-
looking
Nothing
crazy.
sounds right about the story.
He
I
still had the rope on when
Right.
the police
I know.
came. Like, what are you
I
talking
know.
about, bro?
Nothing sounded right.
It never sounded right.
Nothing ever. I don't think we fought with Ken.
It was so outlandish that it was like, he can't be lying about this.
I think it was. I think
so
it was.
outlandish, he had to be lying.
It was kind of in the middle.
it
It was like, this shit sounds crazy. Nothing sounds right about the story, but until other facts came out, I'm gonna believe this black man.
That's
When
so
he coming out of
crazy.
Subway or something, he said,
Yeah. Who the fuck going to Subway at 4:00 in the morning to get a sub by yourself? And why didn't you take the damn rope
He didn't want
off?
to be seen. He's
At Subway?
He a celebrity.
He ain't that famous.
He can walk through the door right now. Literally, I wouldn't know that was him.
You would say, is that Justin
I
Smollett?
don't. I've seen him. I've seen his picture.
Shit, Justin Smollett.
I'm like, Tito has a brother, another one. I wouldn't know that was him. But anyway, back to
Shaquille,
Shannon.
what's up?
Oh, that's fucked up.
That's hilarious.
He looks more
That is a
black than
good
Sean
one.
King, though.
That is a good
Nothing
one.
against Sean King, but anyways.
Shit.
Nah, you should look at it. Because I mean, that's what
it
made
does
me watch it.
It's intriguing. When I saw stuff, it's not that I didn't want to. I just hadn't made it around to it. It's been a very busy week for me, so I just hadn't made it around to it. But I saw it floating around. I was interested. Now, how long is it?
3 hours.
It's
You
3
don't have to
hours,
watch the
but
video.
not- yeah, I'm
Watch
not
the first
interested.
hour.
You're
and
not
get
gonna
the
watch 3
gist.
hours, yeah.
Yeah, what I told my wife was that honestly, you could have probably gotten what you need from the
first hour.
from the clips in terms
yeah.
of like the headline grabbing stuff.
Yeah.
But like I said, what I wanted to watch and see, because when I clicked on Amanda, normally when she's trending, I was like, all right, cool. But then I clicked on it, I was like, oh, Shannon don't know how to do an interview. And I was like, well, dang, how bad was this? And I know and have heard and read about the stories of Amanda Seales. So I was like, oh, this probably went left. So I clicked on it, I listened to it, I was like, oh, that's bad. That's bad. I think when he said, when he basically denied her racism claims when people on the set were calling her the N-word, that was the one that got me.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, bro, how is that anything other than racism?
said it was
Because
kids being
racism
kids.
but kids can be kids, but racism is
That's
a
the
learned
embedded
behavior,
in that. Yeah, that's
right?
a part of that.
Yeah, but that's kind of my point about what y'all were saying about him is I don't think that he understands what racism even is. Because
Or he let it slide so much that he doesn't pick up on it as well as everybody else.
maybe, but I mean, I think that if you explained, well, look, and she didn't do this because I think she was getting frustrated. But you could easily say, yes, these are kids being kids. These are kids being mean, but it's also racism.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she didn't get there because she just immediately got upset and flustered because she didn't expect this wide-nosed black man with very black man features to sit here and tell you, well, no, that ain't racism. It's clearly racism. He's like, well, they got it from their mom. Yeah, their mom is racist, and now the kids are spewing racism.
Kids just don't
This
know how
isn't
to
that
hide
hard to
it as
understand.
well. Right.
Yeah.
But I think I understand why she got flustered, but because I don't know if she's like a debater. I don't know anything about her.
Okay. Had you heard anything about her before?
I've never heard any of this stuff about her, none of this negative stuff. I follow her on Instagram because I've seen her post some stuff where I'm like, yeah, I fuck with that.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about this basketball player, football player, whatever it was. I had to go look it up. I've never heard about her being mean or whatever. I don't know anything about her. But regardless of me knowing anything about her, I'm not going to sit here and deny a black person's claims of racism. That's wild. Mm-hmm. And for a grown ass, how old is he? 50 something?
Yeah.
For a
At least.
grown ass 50 something swole black man that played football
That grew up in the South.
in the South to sit up here on this national fucking show on YouTube or whatever and tell her, well, no, that was racism. That was just kid being kid.
Or you shouldn't talk about the teachers. What the fuck?
So I did see this floating around, and y'all correct me, but did she openly admit that she is
Diagnosed.
on the spectrum?
That was weird. That's the part I was going to ask Spike about because he'd be more versed with this drama shit than I am.
Did she say that?
She did, but she was not telling the truth and she admitted it later.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
He pressed her about it. Like she said
She
that
really got offended about that.
she said that she was on the spectrum. What was
She said she was neurodivergent.
Yeah. And it
Okay.
was previously known as what, Asperger's or something?
Yeah. She
Asperger's,
said
they call it.
she's got autism.
It's a new word for it.
Yeah, it's a new word for Asperger's.
He just said it, divergent. It's
No, neurodivergent is
She
one
said a
thing. And she
different
said
word.
she has autism, second word. I can't remember the second word.
I'm looking.
But it's basically another term for Asperger's.
And what that is you don't pick up on social cues well, like
Yeah,
things
that-
like that. So she said that she had been diagnosed with this, or she said she had been suffering with this, and this is probably why people perceive her the way that they do. And Shannon asked her, he said, so you've been diagnosed with this. How long ago was the diagnosis or whatever she said? And she said, I was just recently diagnosed. However, I've been suffering from it my whole life. And then she came out the next day on Instagram and said, well, I didn't pay $10,000 to go get a diagnosis for something that I already knew. So she self-diagnosed.
Right.
And she really wasn't being as truthful in the interview when she was talking about the diagnosis because people perceived that as, or Shannon asked her, did a doctor tell you this?
Autism spectrum disorder.
That's it.
That's what she said.
Right.
Autism
That's it.
spectrum disorder.
Yeah, ASD.
Autism
So
spectrum disorder.
she did come out and kind of like what you were referring to earlier. She kind of tried to clean it up and say, well, no, I wasn't diagnosed, but I know I suffer from this because I'm an adult.
That's tough.
Yeah.
That's
It
tough.
was.
That's tough. That's tough.
What's tough about it?
Because that directly affects your ability to communicate and interact with people, the social cues thing, and now that puts you in a position that puts you in a weird position when you're having conversations with people.
And you get, I think how people are perceiving it online is now you're using this as a crutch to say, this is why people don't like me.
To be mean or whatever.
Yeah, now I can be mean. Now I can
Yeah.
be outspoken because I'm not picking up on, oh, you're not supposed to say that. But a doctor didn't tell me this. I'm perceiving it this way so I can avoid being wrong in these situations.
But
It's
I
a mental
believe her
disorder.
though, because like,
Do you believe? I
as
believe
someone
she
that's
suffers
worked with
from it.
people that are neurodivergent, I believed her because the way she has conversations, I would 100% believe that she's telling the truth. Well, not telling the truth. She's not telling the truth, but I would 100% believe that if she did go to a doctor, she
absolutely.
would
I
probably
could see
be
that.
diagnosed with some form of autism. Yes.
And that's the way she presented it in cleanup mode again, more so saying like, well, why would I have to go to a doctor and spend tens of thousands of dollars? And I'm smart enough to know that this is what's going on with me.
Here's the reason why, from what I've seen, is that you reading symptoms of this, those symptoms could be other things.
it could be a number of things.
So you can misdiagnose yourself.
Sure. True.
So you may be on the spectrum for this, that, or the other, but
Yeah.
you won't know until a professional
tells
actually
you.
does it. People do it all the time. You know, we're in an age of people saying they got every damn thing.
True.
So everybody reading this and saying, "Oh, this is me. I got this." But unless it's just, and who are we to say that it is true or not? I agree. It does, based on what I read, seem like she exhibits signs of it.
Yeah.
But because she has a reputation and there's confirmation bias out there about her, when people hear that, they do jump to that. They immediately jump to that. Oh, you just using this as a shield.
Yeah, I think it kind of takes away some accountability.
It reduced it. It reduced the impact of her claiming that, which I think if it was clinical, it really could have been more impactful for that community to have someone of this stature come out and claim this, but to be functioning. But
I'm with you 100% on that part.
Yeah.
I don't think she should have done that.
Yeah.
If she didn't have a clinical she could have said, "Look, I think I have this." And if he said, and if he said, "Hey, has a doctor confirmed this?" She could have been like, "Well, no, but every symptom that I seem to exhibit aligns with this," and just left it there. But the fact that she claimed she had it, and then she claimed she had a diagnosis from a clinical diagnosis, I'm with you. Like, people that actually have clinical diagnosis could be like, "Well, that's fucked up because you're just using the negative parts of our." I mean, I hate to call it a disability, but I guess technically it is. Mm-hmm. But you using the negative parts of our disability to protect yourself from accountability, like you said, is foul.
And then that's why I would attribute it to him being the bad interviewer, Ken, in the sense of you used all your bullets on that bullshit. When you question her. You used your bullets in like, oh, well, maybe it wasn't racism, or maybe the teacher did do this. And now you can't question this thing that needs to be questioned because now you put her in a place where like, oh, you just gonna question it. Why am I even here?
Right.
Yeah, which she actually posted about that on Instagram. And because people have been, there's been a lot said about that, but she said, Shannon, but have you been clinically diagnosed? Me, yes. There is a clinical diagnosis for autism. And I'm like,
That's not what she said either.
She said, he then hung his head and exhaled in frustration because I did not answer his question. That is called deflection. Why? Because I was not going to be pressured by this man who was interrogating me with absolutely zero love for me into proving something to him that lived by his line, that L by his line of questioning. I didn't get that
part either. Yeah.
He had already committed to undermining. I understand my response may be confusing to some, but I am clarifying it as I did in my live, and that is enough.
I'm kind of torn with that because you came on his show.
Yeah, like the interrogation part is crazy. Like, this is an interview.
I understand.
I disagree with y'all on that one.
Yeah.
She was 100% being interrogated.
Really?
Absolutely.
It's an interview.
Like I said, an interview is you ask me questions, I answer your questions.
Mm-hmm.
An interview is not you then tell me that my answer is wrong.
So that's what happened. That was what was happening.
The racist part we already went over. Yeah, he was telling her, "Are you sure that's what happened? Because in my experience, this is what happened." That's not an interview. That's a conversation. If you wanted to have a conversation, cool, but I wouldn't pick your dumbass to have this conversation with.
She asked to come up there. She asked. Like, she had this whole...
she did? Because she probably thought it was an interview.
Well, she had this whole thing as she was saying that the black media platforms do not like to have her on. Joe Budden was talking about this. She reached out to him. And he said just because their schedule conflicted that he wasn't able to have her on. He said that he felt like he dodged a bullet because he thinks that he would have been put in the same situation.
He would have been
Shannon.
worse.
Yeah, he'd have been way worse.
I was going to say, well, his platform does come off as interview style, but conversation at the same time. Like interviews that is going to turn into conversations. That's how it comes off to me.
Almost like a hybrid.
Because we're like that, right? When we interview people, it was more like a conversation. That's what I remember Ken did it and pissed the person off, but I've never interrogated anybody that we've interviewed.
We'll talk later. But if you bring somebody on for an interview, you're not expecting them to push back on everything you say. So that's why I think this is different. Like, yeah, she asked to come up there for an interview. She's probably one of those people, like you said, has main character syndrome. She wanted to go up there and tell her side of shit. That's not what happened. She went up there and it turned into, hey, we're going to talk about what's racism and what's not. My point is, she's smart enough to know if I want to have that conversation, I'm not going to do it with Shannon Sharpe. I'm going to do it with someone that's maybe on the same intellectual level as me.
But then you'll have people that are judging you as a interviewer by not challenging certain things. Like, you see that too, right? Like, you just let them come on the show and just say whatever, and you didn't really challenge. You should have asked this follow up and stuff like that. So I don't see Again, I can't speak to it.
You have
I
to
hadn't
ask
seen it.
follow-up questions for
I
certain
think that's a part of being a good
haven't seen
interviewer,
it.
though. Like you have to ask follow-up questions, but
Yeah.
you have to pick and choose where those go. Like you can't do it to every one of them because now the person does feel like it's an interrogation.
That's the sign of
Why
being
do
a
you
good
keep
interviewer.
questioning me? Why do you keep questioning me if we're having this type of
The
conversation?
question that I would have asked, because he fumbled it because it was just like, have you been clinically diagnosed? Boom.
I thought he did ask that.
He did.
But it took a minute before him to get there, right?
Because she
It
was evading the question. I
Okay,
just didn't know
She was
why at the
definitely
time.
like sliding around and like
yeah.
Okay. Because I was like, man, Shannon, that's a lot of fumbling. Just ask the question flat out.
yeah, and get out of the way. Let her do with it what you need to do. But
Yeah.
I thought at the end he finally did say, do you have a clinical
he did.
diagnosis?
He did ask her that.
She lied. I mean,
She flat out.
She
lied.
kind of admitted she lied. Not in that post, but there was a live that she did. She said,
But
you
again,
know,
I don't think that takes away from other than the credibility part of it and the accountability part of it. But it doesn't take away. I still read her on that interview as like being a very intelligent woman. Like she still came off.
it could be.
She came off very well in the sense of I could see why people don't like her, but I also understand why she feels the way that she feels because she is so well read, because she is so intelligent, and she doesn't seem like the person that's going to just let stuff fly by. I'm going to be very vocal in what I feel like is right and what is wrong. And that offends some people.
it comes off as pretentious.
Yeah.
When she says that I'm a scholar in this, I'm an expert in racism.
You can't tell me nothing.
questioning me about racist situations, you can't do that.
Yeah.
So
That's the
him-
autism part to me, though.
say what?
But I think that's
That's the
the part.
part.
What's the part?
Like
Asperger's
saying something
part.
like that. I think that's part of it.
Oh, I don't at
Really?
all. Hell no. I think that's
but
just
because in a regular, why would you feel the need to say that?
because he was. I really wish you would watch
Yeah,
the fucking
I'm
interview
gonna
because you
shut
keep
up.
arguing about the shit that you haven't
I'ma
watched
just-
it.
Yeah.
I wish you
trying
had
to
watched
shut up,
it.
but I'm
No,
trying
you're
to
not.
also be-
No, you're not trying. You're not
What's the-
trying.
what's the
You're asking
word?
valid
What's the
questions. It
word?
sounds like you watched the fucking interview. That's what's funny. It sounds like you watched the shit. The question you're asking.
That means y'all are doing a really good job.
You're doing a really good job. Motherfucker ain't watching it.
The reason why she had to say that is because of everything that preceded it.
Right. That's the point.
Yeah.
That's
Got
the
you.
point. That's the point.
Got you. I'm just shut up.
No, you're good. It's just funny. It's just funny. Because everything you're saying is what people that actually did watch it are saying. But I'm like, did y'all pay attention? You're doing a better job of arguing their point than they did.
And it's a good perspective to have from people that haven't heard it. Like you're doing
guess
a
so,
great
yeah,
job in the
yeah.
sense of people who are listening to this that maybe didn't watch it.
But I'm with you on that really good point you just made. Why are you picking this to question? You could have questioned anything. Question the Issa Rae shit
Yep.
because people have this perception of Issa Rae and you're saying this about her. Ask for details about that. Why would you choose within 20 minutes of the interview to say, I don't think what you experienced was rape? Why would you do that?
wild to me, bro.
And when she said, like, you're being combative, he then said, well, no, what you're doing is you're seeing everything through your lens and you're being combative. And she's like, and that's
He
why
said
I'm
this?
saying it's not
Yeah,
autism.
bro.
She said,
I
and
think
she
it's
told
her
him.
intelligence. She said, I find it fascinating.
That was the great part.
That you're trying to accuse me of doing
what you
exactly what you're doing. And she was right.
And Shannon was stunned. He didn't know what to say.
was.
He didn't know what to say.
I find it fascinating.
I find it
She looked at
fascinating.
him right. She did like this. Like she did the whole, like she acted through the whole thing.
She
It's
was
like,
so right.
wow.
That is good.
He was
She did a
seeing
good- she did a
things
good
through his
job, I think.
country ass lens and putting it off on her. You didn't experience racism because in my experience, teachers get mad because who the fuck asked you for your experience? You're an interviewer. Interview me or shut the fuck up.
And your experience is different from mine.
Right.
Like
What period?
Yeah.
Right.
And he eventually got there. I think he said, well, I'm just shut the fuck up and I'm going to just let you.
Let you-
But even
let
that
you
was
do it.
condescending.
It was.
It was passive aggressive as fuck.
Yep.
I'm just gonna shut up because everything I say, you think.
But she said it too, though, right?
She just stopped talking. I don't think she said, I'm going to
just
shut up.
listened to
She
shit.
did. She did probably what I would have done.
She kicked his ass in that first hour of the interview. Like she
It was
really,
rough.
It was
She
really
really
rough.
put like she gave you the perspective. Oh, he really not good at this. He just got a name. Like people just.
I mean, yeah, we all, I thought, knew that.
But
right?
it hasn't been this bad before. I'll say that.
Has it?
No, this is the worst.
I don't watch all of them.
This is the
He
worst
doesn't look
interview.
like a good interviewer to me. He just has some good people on there that
He
come
just
and
talks
say
to
some shit.
people. Yeah, he got a line of questions that he want to ask. He'll interject with like something if you heard something that he thought was interesting, or
Usually
he
it's-
ask follow-up
yeah.
questions.
To me, it just seemed like people come on there and vent.
Yeah.
It's what it's turning into.
And
So
usually,
it's not an interview. He's not the best. It doesn't come off as a good
true.
interview.
That's
He's
a
never
fair
have. It's just like they just decide to come on in.
But you're backing up her point.
usually his personality adds to it. This one, his personality took away from it. I'll say that.
Oh, okay.
The person, because that's what, like, his personality, I think, is the reason that it's popular.
What's-
And his
what-
personality really, what, Mike?
I don't know, finish your
His
point.
personality, I just think his personality and her personality just do not mesh. And it's not anything that she would ever be comfortable with. Like, she probably will never talk to Shannon Sharpe another day in her life.
This is textbook misogynoir.
Why? That's
Not from you, not from
Oh,
you,
okay,
not from you,
gotcha.
from him, not you. Sorry. No, to me, I think he was treating her differently because she is a black woman who's extremely intelligent and because he had whatever these other ideas that were floating around about her before that. That's what I think this was.
Was it different from Monique's interview?
I didn't watch all of Monique's interview, but I think he wouldn't, I don't think he would check Monique
like
the
that.
way he was trying to check
definitely
her.
wouldn't try Monique
Damn,
like
that
that.
is
You're
a
right.
very good question, Rod.
I only watched bits and pieces, but he did push back on Monique on a couple things.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like this.
It was way different. But
Yeah.
again,
That is true.
the energy was different, though.
It was different.
Energy was different.
Yep.
And Monique got
has
the
a different
presence.
type of energy.
Yeah,
Yep.
Monique got a presence like, you're not finna play with me.
Right. And I think
So
Monique,
is it so if that's said, is it a misogynistic thing then if he didn't have that same energy with Monique?
yes. And I think it's because Monique, I don't know a
Say
great
it.
way to say this.
Say it, bro.
Monique has a more stereotypically masculine presence. Meaning, if you say some shit, I may not, but I might get up and pop
Smack
you
the
in
shit
your
out of
fucking
Nights.
mouth.
Yeah, I might smack the shit out of
Yes. Like, I disagree with a lot of shit Monique says. I wouldn't say it to her face at all. I think he thought because there was this perception about Amanda Seales and all these people that don't like her, I think he thought he could play with her.
And the intelligence part, too.
The intelligence part, I don't know that Monique, I think Monique is intelligent, but I
it's
think
different.
He ain't
it's
Amanda
a different
Seales
type.
intelligent, though,
Monique
right.
is streetwise intelligence.
Yes.
Amanda Seales is book smart
Well-read,
intelligent. Those are
educated.
different situations. So I think he thought that he could play with her, but at the same time, he thought that Amanda Seales was intimidating intellectually.
Yes.
I don't think Monique is intimidating intellectually. Monique talks to you like an old grandmother.
Yep.
Right.
Baby, listen, let me talk, Lenard.
Or auntie, yeah.
You know, she does that type of shit. Amanda Seales, if she wasn't flustered, I feel like she would have broke him down all the way down
Agreed.
to the molecular level.
If that's what she had came up there for,
If that's
agree.
what she came up
Yes,
there for, right,
100%.
Spike?
Yeah, yeah. And which is crazy because she has like this hip hop energy about it because she's such a fan of the culture, dated multiple rappers.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah,
I didn't know
Lupe,
I didn't know
Pusha
that,
T, Boldy James. She had a crazy story about Boldy James.
Shut up, really?
Yeah,
Yeah,
bro.
she didn't have to- she didn't have to
Bro.
do that.
She,
Wait, what happened?
didn't have to
Tell
do
me
that.
that. What happened? I couldn't imagine her dating Boldy James.
I could.
yeah,
Really?
yeah. She had to do
Yeah.
some interview, and he was just sitting around chilling, and he was like, "I don't get paid to put stuff up," so she worked it out to where he could get written in the contract to get paid to set up the set for her to do the interview, and then she said he was outside just chilling and talking shit about what he just did. But she basically worked it out to where he get a check.
But what'd she say at the end of that part,
she
though?
said some about child support?
About Boldy. She said, and you still owe me money.
That was
Now,
it.
it was
Oh,
kind of a
Jesus.
sort of,
Yeah.
like a kind of a joke, but it was like one of them things where it's like, I'm joking, but I'm serious.
Yeah, you got to go.
That's
hear
how it came
bro.
off.
I gotta listen.
she
Where's she
gotta
from?
shit it on.
Orlando, Florida.
She's from Orlando, Florida, but she grew up in New York.
Okay.
So she 100% has an intelligent New York rap kind of like, I would never want to argue with her. She could tell me that 2 and
Yeah,
2 is
that's a
6.
fact.
I'd be like, okay.
And that is that's I
Cool.
think that's why people don't like her. People don't like people that they know.
Intimidated.
Yeah, a lot of people probably are intimidated by her, and then like she
Especially
does
men.
what she does with it. Yeah, I agree with that.
If Amanda Seales was Mark Seales, I don't think that interview would have went the same way.
Like she's saying my nigga. She's like using the N-word, cursing. Like it's a very like hip hop kind of
Yeah, you can tell she from that.
yeah. Which,
Yeah.
so there's this masculine thing that she has, but it's just I guess sort of different when it's her because the intelligence is on top of it,
Yes.
Right.
compared to what
can do both.
Monique was bringing
Yeah.
to the
Monique
table.
comes to you like I said, a grandmother. You feel like you have to respect her, even if she's saying some bullshit. You have to respect her. He's looking at Amanda Seales because she's probably younger than him.
Yeah.
So you're not going to come up here being a woman, being a pretty woman, being a pretty intelligent young woman and outsmart me? No fucking way. Not on my show. I guarantee that's what he was thinking.
And one of the things that was really funny, he thought her mom was white.
Even though she spent half
throughout
the interview saying she wasn't.
She was mentioning being from Grenada
Jesus
and
Christ.
doing like Grenadian accent when speaking or referring to her mom. And then just out of the blue, Shannon goes, "So your mom is white?" She was like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
Are you not listening?
Right, exactly.
To be fair, did you think she said her mom married the white guy? Or
I did. I had to go back. I had to go back.
So did she say her aunt?
She said
her aunt married a white
The
guy.
foulest, funniest shit is I heard mom too.
Yeah, she said her aunt.
So
She
So you just
definitely-
like Shannon Sharpe?
yeah.
Yeah. Because we'll move on to the next one. But yeah, because I was like, because look, I understand. I don't know where he got that from, but during the interview, she
He read
did
it off
mention
one.
her-
Somebody put it. Somebody got fired for that.
Yeah,
One of the
she did
producers.
mention like her mom was from Grenada. So,
did.
so yeah,
and
I
even
mean,
spoke in the accent, like
She
doing the
did.
West Indian.
yeah. So when he said that, I because prior to hearing that, I thought she was mixed.
You thought Amanda Seals was mixed?
I don't know.
A lot of
people
I thought
do.
she could be, but I assumed her dad must be the white one. I'm just saying the only part I confused was I thought she said her mom married a white man.
I did too.
But I never at any point
She kept referring to
thought
her mom being
was
a single
black, or
mother.
not
She,
black.
she kept referring to her mom being like a
And
single.
that's where I thought I
Right.
got it mixed up. I was like, oh, okay, this is why people put the rumor out there that she's mixed, because her mom ended up marrying a white
That's
guy.
exactly what I thought.
Yeah.
Until we got to that point and I felt stupid because she was
What
like,
is
I didn't
the
say
point?
that. What is the point about
Well,
what
that
she-
people
mixed
think
a
that-
lot of people think that she's mixed,
Yeah.
and that takes away from her speaking on the black
It's the
stuff.
same thing as the Sean King shit.
Sean
I've heard
King
that
thing.
before.
People try to say that
They
about
don't
her.
like when
they don't
mixed
realize
people
that she's
speak on
fully
black
black.
issues.
Yeah,
The way
I don't
she
think
does.
I realized that. Like mixed people, but I mean, like, yeah, I don't think I realized that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
people
yeah.
try to knock her for that.
That's what they even did the same thing to Kaepernick.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, your
True.
fro's not even
Yep.
nappy enough to be talking all this black
They
shit.
did
It's
it to
like,
Cap,
dude,
yep.
he's still black.
I get that with white passing.
Oh, I never thought he was white
mixed.
passing. But I'm with you. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I didn't
Like
know
Logic.
that about like just mixed people. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a
Especially
really
when you're as
shitty
vocal as
tactic.
she is, though. So
Oh,
that's
They're
what
they're
it
going to
is.
use anything they can to try to break
Facts.
her
Debunk
down,
it, yeah.
and for them to be like, "Well, you're not even fully black, so why are you this pro black?" It's a fucking shitty tactic that some people use to just break folks down.
I did come out of this interview with a lot better perception of her, though. I will say that.
so you had a similar perception?
Yeah,
before?
I did. I would kind of like
wow.
what Ken said. I would like kind of roll my eyes when she was on the timeline or something like that. But
I ain't
looking
never
at
had an
this,
issue with Amanda
looking at
Seals.
this interview, it's like, oh, okay, I get it. I get her.
She's very smart.
She
I
is.
definitely
Yeah.
understand her a lot
better,
more.
yes.
I never had an issue with her. I watched her comedy specials. They're not that funny.
Oh,
but-
she's a comedian?
oh yeah.
I didn't even know that.
I mentioned it here, and then you like
I probably
went-
just forgot.
Yeah,
I
you
don't
just
think I
forgot.
knew
It's
that
been a long time, but I watched one before.
You didn't finish the interview. That's why.
Yeah. That's true. That's true.
I like her as an actor. I like her. I rock with her.
I was surprised by all the negative
Yeah.
news that started
Same.
to
Yeah.
come out about her, over the last couple of years. So
Same. Until the end of the end of the interview that I watched, I was like, oh, now I see why.
That's
Men do
exactly how
not
it
like
was.
a pretty, intelligent woman. If she's unconventionally pretty or if she's stereotypically not pretty, men can immediately dismiss her. Be like, well, she's fucking ugly and that's why she's mad all the time. Men do that shit. Men do that shit. But I think that's why fucking No Name is so intimidating. You have this pretty, well-spoken, intelligent woman that's challenging you. Men don't like that shit at all. At fucking all.